Perverse Reality, and welcome back to your Dry Delight. It's been such a long time since I've played this game. I'd say about few months. I don't remember what happened last time. Nig. That doesn't tell me anything. Oh yeah, he went to Mayor's thing, and I think they kissed. Oh yes, I remember freaking out about that. Wow. Mig. Morning, boss. I stumble into the office, feeling like a corpse dragged out of its grave. Me! At school. Coffee. Witcher? I forgot his voice. This is the second day in a row you come in looking like a What is that word? I am tired. Is that a regular word or is that a very fancy word? I do not know. This is the second day in a row you've come in looking like a bedrangled cat. Do we need to have an intervention? I'm fine. Just couldn't sleep. Christ, something really is messed up when Leslie shows up at work before me. Ugh. He lets out a long, playful sigh. And shaking his head before taking a sip of his coffee. Well, don't keep me in suspense. Your escapades last night, of course. What happened? What did you find out? Oh yeah, right. With my own coffee mug in hand, I sink into my chair, clearing my throat. Going to have to leave out some of the details here, I think. My new friend, Mr. Mayor Estman, well, he gave me that information, but he gave me some information about the powerful mob players in the city. Seems like he's really in the loop. The already pale Leslie seems to suddenly grow a shade paler. Oof. He slowly sets his coffee down and leans forward over his desk, brow furrowing as he stares at me. Did you say Eastman? Sure did, boss. Why? Why? Yes? Are you using your hearing already, boss? You're not that old. Because Eastman is the man running all of Cleveland, that's why. Leslie raises his voice in excitement and frustration, slamming his fist down on the desk. Ooh, that piano. All of Cleveland? Yes, all of Cleveland. I found out about him last night at the party I went to. He's well-liked and hugely powerful, and most of Cleveland's Italian mafia is terrified of him. I don't know how on earth he managed to get in his good books, but Eastman is the key to taking down the city's liquor business. In fact, I think it's speakeasy, whatever that word is, itself might be his main base. After we get a bit more information, we should set up a raid. I figured Mayor was powerful, but I had no idea he was running all of Cleveland. This is right, obviously. Leslie's right, obviously. Our department is supposed to be working with the FBI to enforce prohibition. I'm dying. Prohibition here, which makes shutting down criminal outfits. Oh my gosh, I am dying on the inside. And we're only 5 minutes into this. This should be a huge step forward. If that's the case, then why do I feel so reluctant? Maybe because he kissed the guy. It's not like Mayor trusts me. In fact, I'm sure he doesn't. But I can't imagine putting him behind bars. Last night was probably just a game. His attempt at manipulating me onto his side. And yet, it didn't feel like that at all. Oi, Richard. Are you spacing out? Do you need more coffee? I snapped back into the moment, greeted by a curious Leslie staring at me quizzically. No, I was just thinking, boss. We're going about this the wrong way. The wrong way? You have a different idea. When I nod, Leslie takes his head to the side, wishing for me to continue. I'm also curious. If there's anything I can give him credit for, it's that he's usually willing to listen to what I say, even if I'm the junior partner. Let me keep talking to Eastman. I'll get more details out of him, I promise. We shouldn't throw him in jail, not yet. Leslie stares at me in stunned silence. Does it really sound that strange? Did you hit your head on your way home last night, Richard? This is a mob boss we're talking about. He's dangerous, not in line to be next to... He's dangerous, not in line to be the next pope. I don't know what he said to you, but you shouldn't believe him. Just because he hasn't killed you doesn't mean he won't, once you've outlived your usefulness. Haven't you thought about that? I'm so tired right now. His frustrated, skeptical words echo in my thoughts, as much as I hate to admit it. Maybe it's stupid to try and deny them, but before I can control myself, I blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. He's not a murder machine, Leslie. He's not a one-sided villain who was born bad. Sure, most mobsters out there are ruthless bastards, but so are a lot of normal people. None of you guys aren't some special breed, evil to their rotten cores. He's a businessman. He's using the law of profit. I know that, and I'm not saying I think it's right. But after talking to him, spending time with him, seeing how he's just a guy like any other, I'd be damned if I don't have more sympathy for him than whichever old highbinder is handing down orders in the FBI. Highbinder refers to a corrupt politician or swindler. Okay. Leslie stays quiet, biting his bottom lip, a nervous habit of his, and avoiding my gaze for a time. I never raise my voice at him, or anyone else for that matter. I instantly feel a little sheepish about that, but I didn't know how else to express my change of heart. Finally, Leslie rubs his eyes with one hand and gently sighs, a small smile twitching at the corner of his lips. Yeah, He stands up from his desk and walks over, giving me one of those affectionate, "what am I gonna do with you" looks. I guess I'm not all that surprised. You've always been compassionate and honest, probably why you're a terrible liar. He pauses, reaching out to gently ruffle my hair. There's still a worried crease in his brow, but I think he's trying his hardest to believe in me. If you really, really think this man isn't out to just screw us over, and he'll be of use to the investigation somehow, then I suppose I'm willing to go along with it, for a little while at least. Boss. A little while, I said. Hey, what? I jump out of my chair and pull Leslie into a hug. Oh, that's cute. Tightly squeezing his wiry frame. He stiffens for a moment, but eventually wraps his arms around me too, softly patting my back. I sure hope you know what you're doing, Richard. If something ever happened to you, well, let's just say I'll have enough times living with myself already. Why? Because you're so high maintenance? Exactly. You know how many times a day I have to feed myself? It's very difficult, and having guilt on my shoulders won't help won't help things any. I'll be fine, boss. Don't worry about me. Hello, you beautiful man. I love Leslie. Leslie is a beautiful man, but not as beautiful as Mayor. Mayor is just... Oh, I love that Jewish boy. Jewish boy. I love all these characters. Even though there's just 3, I love all of them equally. Even though their voices are kind of hard to do. Anyways, as we pull apart, I gaze down into Leslie's face for a moment. He still doesn't look fully convinced, and it's perfectly reasonable. We're paid to be suspicious. He'll bring me around to the idea eventually, if everything works out. He's open-minded, I'll bring him around to the idea eventually, if everything works out. He's open-minded to just about anything, given enough time. Except vegetables, maybe. Except vegetables? That is so cute! After we discuss things a little more, Leslie and I settle about our usual routine of paperwork, calls, and more paperwork. It's not like our work normally flies by, but today, the hours seem especially long. Oops, I skipped over a thing. At last, evening rolls around. I just noticed that the music cut out. Now, this doesn't have a lot of music, but the last time the music cut out, Mayor kissed Richard. So, Anyways, when I head outside, my feet start to take me down a familiar road before I even realize it. Ooh, the doorman. Welcome, sir. Please enjoy your night. Flashlight. Loud music rushes over me in a wave. If I remember correctly, the password is swordfish? Swordfish over and over again. Me. I would go here every night just to see Mayor. I do not like alcohol. Ugh. Especially wine. It's disgusting. Anyways. The familiar sea of dancers, lights, and sparkling glasses. This place is starting to grow on me. To my surprise, I spot Mayor already standing at the bar, cup of coffee in hand, as he chats with the bartender. Should I go up to him? I don't want to come off too strong, but maybe I should casually strike up a conversation with someone else and wait for... He knows. Just as I mull over my plan, Mayor's gaze meets mine. He instantly breaks into a warm smile, beckoning me over. Yeah. Just like right as he's like, oh, I don't want to be too obvious. Mayor notices him, just like, yeah, I know the dude. I love that. Beautiful. This story is beautiful. I wandered towards the bar and stepped up beside him, clearing my throat to buy time as I figure out what to say. Well, it seems like my detective went back to me. You know. Okay. Did your flock of officers decide to come along today too? No, I left them alone with my son. God, I can't tell you how disappointed I was when they decided to interrupt. The suggestive, airy murmur sends a tingle down the back of my neck. At least I wasn't the only one who was disappointed. Yeah. I was really looking forward to that cake. I'm afraid I enjoyed the rest of it by myself, but I was thinking of you all the while. Does that make you feel any better? Not one bit. My hair was deep chuckles, low and comforting. It always seems like his sly, evasiveness melts away for a split second whenever he laughs, betraying something vulnerable. Aw. Listen, Richard. If you'd prefer, we could always linger out here and talk. As much as I want to savor all of you in private, I'm more than happy to just enjoy your company. Besides, whatever flights, discussing whatever flights of fancy you have. I probably shouldn't have said that. I imagine my seductive air from Steaks is all but room for you now. No, I haven't never mind. His leg slightly brushes mine underneath the bar and out of sight. He's so bold, this guy. I can't see how he got into his line of work. No doubt about that. I can see how he got into this line of work. No doubt about that. Actually, I wanted to ask you some more serious questions. Privacy might be better. Just, as a precaution. Oh, of course. I have no doubt that your reasons are entirely. Ah, it's the cops. At that moment, the speakeasy door flies open and a small group of officers rush in. Screams echo through the hallway after the music cuts off, but the cacophony quickly goes silent. Eastman's men? Whatever. Can't even reach for their guns, the officer already aiming their own. Leslie, you trusted me. Leslie, no. At the head of the group is Leslie. Richard. No. The second our eyes meet, he rushes over to me, releasing a huge sigh of relief. Richard, thank God you're not hurt. I thought for sure that... We had an agreement, Leslie, didn't we? How can you just Just storm in here after me. Don't you trust me? When I managed to choke accusation, Leslie just shakes his head, eyes narrowed. It's not about trust, Richard. It's not even about the job. To hell with information gathering. The thing I care most about is keeping you safe. You're too honest, too trusting, and I can't let you run around with people like this, even for the sake of an investigation. He gestures to Mayor angrily, apparently having guessed his identity already. Leslie was worried about me? I knew he was still concerned. I just didn't think he'd go this far. This is awkward. Mayor, who's been entirely silent this whole time, watches us with a carefully measured expression. How can he be so calm? He has no idea this was going to happen, did he? Gentlemen, I believe there's been some severe miscommunication. Please, Mr. Leslie, tell your men to lower the weapons. Then we can discuss things calmly, without the threat of accidental bloodshed. Agreed? Leslie hesitates. There's a strange degree of trust going on here, but I get the sense that neither of them wants it to end in violence. At least both of the love interests are peaceful, instead of, like, werewolves or something. I know Leslie hates hurting anyone, even criminals, and Mary doesn't seem the type to enjoy it either. Understood. He signals the officers, who slowly, reluctantly, lower their guns. The tension in the room eases a little bit, though it's still far from calm. Let me say first, Mr. Leslie, that I entirely understand your concern for your partner's safety. But you see, after our little friend Richard here showed up the other night, I was struck with an idea. I know he was a detective before he so much as walked in the door. Your informant's working for me, so I decided to have a chat with him. You mean, back there, that was... Don't get me wrong, Richard. I was enjoying every second of it. But I've been looking for a way to work out an agreement with the law in Cleveland for some time. You're a hard-headed sort here, let me tell you. He exhales a breath between his teeth, gently shaking his head. Richard, however, I could tell he was made of something different, not so hell-bent on enforcing the Volstead Act, yet not just the type to be bought either. I was intrigued, so I thought I'd try to work out a deal, as is my way. Last night was supposed to be the beginning of that deal, but... Well, I was enjoying the company so much that I thought to myself, what harm can it be to wait just a little while longer? When Mayor's glimmering eyes settled on me, I felt my heart skip a beat. Maybe several. He invited me back to make a deal, but it spiraled into something more because he enjoyed my company? So you really believed we wouldn't try to arrest you? It was a calculated risk, of course. Mayor casually waves one hand. The way he keeps the kind of, I don't know that word, sung forward, cold blood. Even while surrounded by the law, no wonder he's a leader. Nothing ventured, and nothing gained. His voice takes a toll on my voice. I like to make big gambles, and usually they pay off. Oof, I'm too tired for this. Why did I decide to record at 12? Okay. But I've done my research on your backgrounds, your past jobs. I know you wouldn't simply raid my venue without showing a few of your cards first. So you could say the chips landed where I thought they might. Huh. Leslie rubs his cheek with a hand, thinking rapidly, as if to try and understand everything we just heard. I couldn't blame him. I knew Mayor was sharp, but I had no idea he planned everything out ahead of time. You know, even though we're the ones with our guns out, I can't shake this feeling that we're being played right into your hand. You really do live up to your reputation, don't you? I was expecting Leslie to be furious, but instead he sounds more impressed than anything. Is it possible he actually took some of my words to heart back in the office? You mentioned a deal earlier. Care to explain what kind of deal we're talking about? I was hoping you'd ask. A partially satisfied smirk curls on Mayer's lips. The type a man wears when he just won at cards. Why don't we discuss matters privately, in a neutral ground? I'll even let you pick the spot. All of us is armed, with a few of our men waiting outside. A moment, if you don't mind. I knew that sound effect. Okay. Leslie grabs my sleeve and pulls me aside, leaning up to whisper in my ear. I forgot that he was shorter than me. You really trust him enough for this? Normally I'd say it's suicide, but this mayor, he's not like any other man I've met. It's like talking to the chief of a big corporation, not a mafia leader. He scratches his head, clearly baffled. Clearly. It's not like I can blame him. I felt the same way when I first met Mayor the other night. I know. He doesn't mean us any harm, boss. I know he doesn't mean us any harm, boss. He's still a gangster, I can't deny that, but... I pause, swallowing. Better word things delicately, or else Leslie might catch on. I think he genuinely wants to work out a deal with us. All of this would be way too much trouble otherwise. My thoughts exactly. You think we should hear him out then? Without hesitation, I nod. Maybe it's an incredibly stupid decision, but I can't bring myself to believe all last night just means... Wait. Maybe it's an incredibly stupid decision, but I can't bring myself to believe all of last night was just a means to an end. If you don't mind me saying, Mr. Leslie, I gather you're the type to take precautions. Mayor pipes up eerily, and we both glance over towards him. Should the two of you not decide not to show off in perfect health tomorrow, if the two of you do not show up in perfect health tomorrow, I'm certain I'll have a big hassle on my hands. And that's not what I want, I assure you. You really did your research, didn't I was doing Richard's voice. I'm dying. That's the problem. That's what's happening. I'm dying. You really did your research, didn't you? It's my favorite hobby, man. It's a favorite hobby of mine. So that means you know what size underwear Richard wears? Boss! Boss! I'm afraid you'll have to barter with that. I can't help but laugh at this line. I'm afraid you'll have to barter for that information. Yes. This is the best. This is the best. This is the best visual novel I've ever had the pleasure of playing. Best ever. Sorry, Michaela Laws. Move over. Sorry, Tokyo after school summers. Move over. This is the best. This is what I live for. Oh, you drive a hard bargain, do you? I like that. Great. Just great. After a little more discussion, the three of us settled on a hotel room for our meeting spot. The unfortunate Patreons who had to witness all that, well, they're sent home and promised free drinks when they come back. In this day and age, that's probably enough risk being shot. It's probably enough risk being shot. I don't understand what that should said, but whatever. Once that mess is sorted out, the three of us head to the hotel with our respective men. I can't even begin to imagine how tonight will end. I have to hope for the best. What? What? Wait. Pick different choices and play through Leslie's route. Both throughs, but you'll need to understand both sides of the story. No. No. But what? What? I'll need to understand both sides of the story. But that doesn't make sense. What? So, all that stuff with all that stuff with all that stuff with Mary is all for naught? But I want to kiss him. What? Wait. I am actually crying right now. Save down here. Wow. That's just amazing. I'm actually crying right now. There is a tear going down my cheek. This is serious. Oh my god. But, and right after I say this is the best thing ever, it just pulls that shit on me. A blanket on my eyes, and then took the blanket off, and suddenly I'm blinded by awful hellscapes. I'm actually crying right now, guys. I'm actually crying. game make I haven't had a visual novel make me cry before. Dirty trick! Okay, I'm gonna go now. I hope you guys have had a good day or night wherever you are. Bye!